Vera, she hissed. Vera, it's me, Emma Field. I'll help you. Stand up and come with me. Vera didn't look up. Emma put her hands on Vera's shoulders, choking back the foul odor that assailed her nostrils. Come with me, she repeated. The two girls stumbled back along the track toward the creek. Under here, commanded Emma, as each foot negotiated the pitch dark of the creek bank, leading to the ribbon of coal-black water.
Hi, I'm Doreen Barnes, and welcome to the Reader's Corner. Supply teacher Carol Williams is here today, and she's going to talk to us about her book, Emma Field. And this actually takes place back in the 1840s. So let's talk to Carol and find out more about Emma Field. Carol, welcome.
Thank you.
I loved reading the book.
Good.
Now tell us a little bit, tell our viewers a little bit about Emma Field and about writing this novel.
Well, Emma's a girl who grows up, she's the daughter of a tenant farmer in the Bloomfield area in the 1840s, and she grows up amongst the Quakers of that community, and it's really just the story about how she grows up and who supports her and who doesn't and what she learns and how she grows. Yeah, I guess that's it.
And all the trials and the tribulations that she ends up going through as she's growing.
Yeah.
So research, was there a lot of research that you had to do for this particular book?
I did a lot. I did a lot because I wanted everything to be accurate. Everything, dates, materials that were used at the time. So yeah, I did do a lot, but it was all pleasure.
It was enjoyable then,
it was
wasn't
wonderful,
it?
Yeah.
Why did you write this book? Why did you decide that this needed to be out there?
I had to. I just, it's one of those things. It takes place, part of the story takes place in a Quaker boarding school. And it'd be almost 9 years ago, I had a chance to go through the boarding school. And as I came out of the school, I just knew that I had to write a book. And this is a building that was within view of the farm I grew up on, and so I was always aware of it, but for some reason at that point I just knew I had to write it, and I thought it was about something other than what it was. But as it came to me over the years, this is what develops.
So Bloomfield actually does exist. The boarding house actually exists. And so there is an actual place that people can visit.
Yes, the boarding school is a private home now.
It is a private home.
It all does exist down to the story itself took place in a cabin which was once on our family farm, and so even the landscape is all. It's all
accurate, and it's all there. Now, Emma Field, this is going to be one in a series, is it not?
I know at this point it'll be at least 3 books. We'll see if it's 4. I really don't know at this stage because it's still just unfolding, but I'm pretty sure for the whole story to take place there has to be at least 3. So.
Because she's going to have to grow up.
She does.
She's going to have to get married, have children, whatever.
Yeah.
She decides that whatever's decided that happens to Emma Field. Now, reading the book, there was a little romance in there as well with John, correct?
Yes, slight.
Okay. Will John surface again in book number 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at what age will book number 2 start with Emma?
Oh, it starts immediately with where that one left off. Really.
Where this one ends?
With a matter of days, yeah.
Okay, and then we'll pick it up again and go right into it. Yeah. Are you working on the book right now?
Yeah, and I have been since before that one came
Before
out,
this one actually was published. How, when do you envision that you will be finished and that we'll have an opportunity to read it?
I thought it might be ready by this summer, but and now I'm thinking maybe Christmas, but I really don't know. It's something that just I'll know when it's right and it'll be finished. So I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
No.
Okay, in this book I think there was an indication that if you're an anxious reader, you can start at chapter 5. Why did you put that in there?
There's a lot of action in this book,
yes.
and but it really doesn't start till chapter 5. And but I wasn't willing to cull anything from those first 4 chapters. To me, they were essential to knowing who Emma is and what the land is like and what the place is like. So I didn't want to mislead readers by thinking that the slow start was the way it was going to be. And I also knew once I realized that probably the market would be teenagers. I also knew that they would welcome the faster start, or I thought most teenagers would welcome a faster start than the slow, steady pace that I had. So, plus also, I think there are different ways to read a book. And my thinking was that if you start at chapter 5, read to the end, you probably at some point will go back to the first part and get more of a feel for who Emma is. But it's, a book's a living thing, and I think it's important to treat it like a living thing, so that was why, yeah.
Okay, well, I was curious about that.
Yeah.
I thought, why'd she do that?
Yeah.
Because I want to start at the beginning. I don't want to miss anything.
Well, and that's the way I prefer to, but I know it's not for everyone, and I think it's just sort of an invitation to read it as you
please.
Like to read. Yeah.
Exactly. Tell me about your writing. Do you write every day?
I haven't been the last little while, but aside from the last little while, I do every day. I write first thing in the morning, and when I'm still half asleep, and I set the timer, and I write for 20 minutes as fast as I can, and that way it comes from deeper inside me than if I'm just using my head. So and then I work on it after that, but. It has, yes, and it works best when I am writing every day. But
so there's a bit of a ritual here whereby you are setting a timer, and you do only write for a specific amount of time, correct?
I promise myself that much, and then if I do extra, that's fine.
That's a bonus?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But that way I can just madly go at it and not hold back.
You placed one of these books in a hostel, did you not? Where?
Well, it's not a. What I did is there's I don't know what you call it. I guess a website and a program where it's called Book Crossing, and people leave books in random places with a note on the inside saying, if you find this book, you're welcome to read it and pass it along. And if you wish to make a comment about it, then this is the website you log into and just leave a comment on whether you enjoyed it or not. Or so I left a copy at the youth hostel in Ottawa. It hasn't gone nearly as far as I thought it would at this point. So I think it's just one of those things where you just put it out there in good faith and
see what happens.
Just see where it goes and
that's why. Was it an experiment just to see?
It was just to see. But so you never quite know what happens with a book in that instance. But so we'll just see.
Are you Emma?
Yes. As are many people. I think the book talks a lot about fears and overcoming things, and I think it's probably fairly universal to a lot of people. So
so there's a little bit of Emma in all of us, right?
I would say.
Okay, alrighty. Tell me about when you had this published and your editor. Was that a painstaking thing to go through, or was it very easy?
To edit, or to get an editor?
Well, to get an editor and to have it edited and to go through the whole process. Was that difficult for you?
To get an editor wasn't hard at all.
Okay.
And it's just one of the magic of a book or something that you're really passionate about is just the way the pieces come together in time. And I was actually at a dinner to do with photography, and a woman sat beside me and we started talking, and I told her about writing the book and just needing to write it, not doing it for any other reason that I really wanted to. And she said, I'll be really interested in following the progress of the book, really interested. And She said that 3 times, and then towards the end of the conversation, she said, I edit Farley Mowat's work before it goes on to the publishers, and she works closely with him. And so when it came time to edit it, I just asked her, and she did it, and she did a fabulous job. So the getting an editor wasn't painful. It's remarkable how much how much work a product that you think is perfectly polished, how much work it still takes after once it goes to an editor.
Once it goes, and then from there you had it published. Was that a difficult venture as well?
Again, it just fell into my lap, and Larry Thompson, a book designer who lives in Merrickville, my home village, he did the whole thing, and I think did a beautiful job. I couldn't have imagined it looking so well. So
he did. Yeah. Now I understand this is actually in the 4th printing, so it has been selling very well.
It has. It's done very well. I've sold almost 300 copies of the hardcover, which is it's quite unheard of, really. And then now I have it in paperback. And
why did you decide to go to the paperback and not stay with a hard copy?
Yeah, just to make it more affordable, and especially knowing that Larry could pull together something that would look just as good as the hardcover was kind of the deciding factor.
Tell me just a little bit more about your next book. I know you said that your next book is going to start from where this one leaves off, but can you just give us just a little nibble as to where it's going to go?
Yeah, Emma goes to New York State,
right.
And she goes to a Quaker boarding school north of New York City, and there she gets to know people who are involved in the anti-slavery movement of the 1840s, which also introduces her to the women's rights movement as well at the time. So that's a fascinating period of time. I really find that fascinating.
So in other words, Emma is a feminist?
She is, and certainly becomes in the next book very involved in the women in the very, very early stages of the whole women's rights movement. So
wow, I'm looking forward to this. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay, tell me where people can pick up this book. Like, where can they purchase it?
Leeds County Books here in Brockville.
And can they go online anywhere?
Yes,
too?
as well. They can order it through shopmerrickville.com or through me as well. So.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very, very much, Carol, for coming in today. I know that I talked to you last year, and I couldn't wait to meet you and talk about this because it is an excellent book.
Great.
I really loved reading it, and you're going to have to hurry up with that second one now. You just can't leave her down there in New York. We got to do something with her. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us today. And I was here with Carol Williams, and we've been talking about Emma Field.